When I was a child, my parents took me to church to learn how to become a better member of society. Churches were a place that upheld good morals and values and showed inspiring leadership. In 1962, when Reverend Salter of the West Melbourne Baptist Church stated the church building on King Street was in severe disrepair, it no longer had a viable membership and was being demolished to make way for a petrol station, where was the government of Victoria then, and why did they not act upon the clause in the Crown Grant that stated land not used for its original purpose would be resumed by the state? What's happened to our society today when it's left up to the community to stand up for what's right while the Eighth-day Baptist Church is focused on making a ton of money? It's interesting to note, in West Melbourne, the people within the community are the ones who seem to be doing the heavy lifting when it comes to upholding moral integrity of our forefathers over the Crown Grant for the Baptist site on King Street, while the Eighth-day Baptist Church appears not to give two hoots about moral integrity of our forefathers. Not all churches set bad examples. The good community work some churches have done and continue to do to this day is highly commendable. But I'd like to ask each and every individual from North and West Melbourne to tell me what good community work has the current hierarchy of the Eighth-day Baptist Church specifically done for you since 2002. What's happened to our society today when it's left up to the community to stand up for what's right, while the Eighth-day Baptist Church is focused on making oodles of money? It's on public record the Eighth-day Baptist Church, together with Baptcare, sought and gained a financial grant of $20,000 of public funding with the aid of Minister Bronwyn Pike in what was said to be used to conduct community consultation meetings to roadshow the church's redevelopment plans. Was Bronwyn Pike aware at the time about the 1871 legislation that abolished all forms of state aid to religion or not? I'm sure most Baptist churches in Victoria have many good people in them. But I ask the question, why aren't any of the deacons of other Baptist churches or the Baptist Union of Victoria speaking out against the destruction of the Baptist name and the destruction of the community relationship they've had there since 1866? Or are they all on the side of the Eighth-day Baptist Church? What's happened to our society today when it's left up to the community to stand up for what's right, while the Eighth-day Baptist Church is focused on making unspeakable amounts of money? Was the Eighth-day Baptist Church thumbing its nose at Lord Mayor Robert Doyle from Melbourne City Council when he offered council to buy the Baptist land so the church could go build their high-rise multi-faith church centre in Docklands instead? Was the offer turned down because the Eighth-day Baptist Church wanted sole control of the $50 million residential redevelopment site all to themselves? When the Eighth-day Church said to the Future of Melbourne committee members, if their development application was not approved by council, they'd take the matter up with VCAT, is that not intimidation to the council and the community by the Eighth-day Baptist Church? What's happened to our society today when it's left up to the community to stand up for what's right, while the Eighth-day Baptist Church is focused on making immense money? What's happened to our society when a decision that once upon a time, back in the olden days, by a council was final, but now bad proposals can be second-guessed to the advantage of wealthy developers and win with the assistance of VCAT? Is the Eighth-day Baptist Church thumbing its nose at Premier Daniel Andrews and breaking the trust laws of Victoria, breaching the restricted church-only usage of the piece of land on King Street so they can build 74 residential apartments and a convenience store there? What's happened to our society today when it's left up to the community to stand up for what's right, while the Eighth-day Baptist Church is focused on making bucket loads of money?